Well, I'll say this about this movie. Elsa is officially the most powerful character in all of Disney.
Let's all go watch the review. Yeah.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I am Lazy Dude. Welcome to another Lazy Dude review. Today we are reviewing Frozen 2. So Frozen came out in 2013. Yeah, 6 years ago. How weird is that? That does not feel 6 years ago. But anyways, it has been 6 years for our time, but I don't think it's been like a year or two for their time. They're just hanging out, having a great time, going and playing family games, doing a bunch of fun stuff, and all of a sudden something weird starts going on. Elsa is hearing this weird singing voice, and then upheaval happens, and they need to go into this enchanted forest that won't let anybody else in except for Elsa, and uncover the mystery behind everything. So Frozen, of course, being one of the biggest hits ever for Disney. I think it's, Lion King passed it as the highest grossing animated film of all time, but animated, live action, whatever you want to call it, CGI, photorealistic, whatever, that shouldn't count. But either way, Frozen, and if you don't count that, is still the king when it comes to animation. So for its sequel, I was wondering what I was going to get. There was a lot of interesting ways they could take this whole concept with these two sisters and the characters in it and the whole world of it. And I'm not entirely sure how to feel about this movie. Because here's the thing, a lot of the plot elements of this film are very predictable for me. I'll go into it more in the spoiler review, but there's something that comes up, I'm like, well, that's going to play into the film later, because that never not plays into a film later in a movie. There are some elements that they're still getting right and still doing well. I like the humor a lot. How do I talk about this movie? I don't know. So for me, I don't know what to make about this movie. I know how I feel and how I'm going to rate it, but it's hard to talk about and put into words. A lot of elements in this film are handled really well, and I'll get to those. But there's some stuff that I'm confused about. Right out of the gate, it does something that I never like when movies do, is when they try to add lore to events that happened before the original, and now we have new context for stuff that happened in the first movie that we never even considered. Oh, well, this now happened because of that. There's so much more layers to this, except when it doesn't make sense. The dots don't connect. When someone's able to add on something to the past to a character, and it sticks, and it's really well done, that I like, but when they just add it, and then I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense with everything else, I don't like it so much. It's like with Batman's origin. Everyone has tried to add their little twist to Batman's origin. Some said, oh, maybe he knew Joe Chill. Maybe Joe Hill was actually was an assassin sent to kill Bruce Wayne's parents. Maybe, it's in different versions, try to add little things. Maybe the Joker was Batman's parents' killer. Stuff like that. And if you can do it well enough that it fits in seamlessly with everything else, it works. But there's some things in... You know what? Okay, I'm just gonna... I'll give a basic summation, and then I will give it my rating, and then I'm gonna go into spoilers, because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So the stuff that I like about this film, it's still funny. It's not as necessarily funny as the first one, but there's one scene that really had me laughing, had me really going, and Olaf is still pretty funny. I liked him. Some of the side characters, I didn't like their story. Kristoff's whole thing throughout the movie, I'm never on board with it. It's a little awkward, and I'm just like, I don't get the humor in this. There's one of his songs, they have a weird thing in it, and it's humorous for a few seconds, and I'm like, now this is just distracting. But the animation is, of course, beautiful. They're going all out with this. I love the ice effects. They do a great job. And I actually like the way these other spirits work into the film. I think it's actually pretty fun the way they handle them. And some of them are not exactly what you expect them to be. And because I actually like some of that. Elsa, I'm still finding really compelling. I love her journey. I love her character, how she has to adapt to these powers and her place in the world and everything. Anna, I'm a little bit confused what her whole character arc is about, but as I said, I'll get into that in the spoilers. I think what kind of brings this movie down a little bit for me is that they have all these themes going out there, but I don't see how they connect with each other, you know? I mean, Olaf's all about, things are changing, and then Anna's like, yeah, I gotta do the next right thing, and then Elsa's like, I'm finding my place in the world again, and I don't know, they're all a little weird. It's like, I don't find how they all connect to each other. It's like when you're trying to put a puzzle together, but when you find out there's like 3 different puzzles all mixed into one. And I'm just gonna say it, and I'll go into more detail and spoilers, but the songs aren't that great. There's only one of them that I thought, that's alright, but I didn't have any rush to buy it on iTunes or anything. So, unfortunately for me, I think I'm gonna have to rate this pretty low. I'm gonna rate it at a 6 out of 10. It's not terrible. It's slightly above average. And I think that things that elevate it slightly above average is it does have some good atmosphere. The world is pretty entertaining. I still am on board with Elsa and her journey and her character. And, it's funny. It kept me captivated for the most part. But in the end, it left me a little disappointed, so that's why I'm giving it an above-average rating. Alright, so that's my spoiler-free review. Now it's going on to the spoiler part of the review. Anytime any film adds a dam, 2 things are going to happen. Either the dam's going to explode. No, that's it. That's the only thing that will happen in a movie about a dam. Well, okay, in The Fugitive, you'll jump off of it. Okay, 2 things, yeah. Either the dam explodes or you jump off of it. But that's it! As soon as, in the beginning, it says, and they blessed their people by giving them a dam. And I'm like, well, that's going to be where the climax of the film is. I already know. You don't need to say anything else. That's where the end of the movie is going to take place. It's all going to be about the dam. And I don't know, I didn't like that I found that predictable. And then they're like, who started the battle first? Who threw the first blow? I'm like, well, it's obviously, Elsa and Anna's grandfather. What? It's obvious. They always do. You're gonna say that they're gonna let the more cultural people, they're gonna be the ones that attacked first? No, of course they're not gonna do that. They're gonna make... I don't know what I'm saying. They're gonna make white people feel guilty more? I don't know. It's weird. So I found both of those predictable. As soon as they brought up, look, there's also a 5th spirit. I'm like, well, it's Elsa. But that I don't really mind too much, except for the fact that then who was singing? Elsa's like, who's singing? Show yourself, show yourself. And then it's just like, it was you! What? I'm going to go all over the place with this review. As I say, I don't think the songs are that good. The only one that I kind of even remember are Elsa's 2 songs, Into the Unknown, and the other one I've already forgotten the title, is like Show Yourself. But both of those, I'm just like, da-da-da-da. The funny scene that I was talking about is when Olaf recaps the Frozen movie. That is absolutely hilarious. I was laughing pretty hard at that scene. That scene was very good. Kristoff's whole trying to find a moment to propose. Look, as a guy who's recently proposed myself, I can relate. You get nervous. It's awkward. But it's not that awkward, and it's not... Well, I just shouldn't say it's not that hard, but it's just like, I don't... it was always like, I was never on board. And then when his song happened, and, Sven's starting to sing, even though we know it's in his head, I'm like, what? And then it turns into like an 80s rock ballad, and I'm like, hold the phone. What? This is so distracting. It doesn't make sense, and I'm just weirded out by it. Plus, what I was talking about earlier of, let's add new lore to the beginning of or stuff that happens before even the first movie happened. Here's the thing. The scene where they say, oh, there's this enchanted forest, and, it's, nobody can get in or out of it. It's just enchanted. Why didn't this come up in the first film? You know, everyone seems super shocked that magic was a real thing. But if there's just like, oh yeah, there's an enchanted forest like a couple of days ride away that nobody can get into and it's obviously magic, then why was everybody so surprised? Plus, having Elsa and Anna's like mother be a member of the tribe, I mean, I guess that works, but it's just like, well, why doesn't Anna have powers? Or I don't know. That I didn't get. I didn't understand that at all. But there are stuff I like. Like I said, I like the spirits. I love how they work. I like the scene where Elsa's trying to swim across and that horse is like trying to drown her and she has to fight it back. I like all the scenes with the spirits where they all like kind of attack her. She has to prove her worthiness to them before they make themselves, you know, submit to her or whatever you want to call it. I like all of those little scenes. I think they're fun. I mean, Anna's whole thing where she's like, oh, okay, we gotta destroy the dam. And then, here's the thing. If Elsa's the fifth spirit, then what is freezing Elsa? You know, in the scene where Elsa's like, oh, and she gets all frozen? What is doing that to her? You know, it's not some other force. It's not something else. It's Elsa freezing herself? Or is because she jumped into a hole? But it was like, oh, I think she's gone too far. No, she was just following the memories. It's not like she knew she was doing something bad because she jumped into a hole. She was following the memories to figure out what was going on and what happened to the village. How was it going too far? There was no reason for her to freeze up in that moment, except the plot needed it. And let's get to, oh yeah, Olaf's death. Come on, man. We know you're not going to do that. You gotta sell your merch, Disney. We know you gotta sell your merch. So don't try to fake us with that death, because we know, oh, this water has memory thing is going to play. I would have actually respected the film if they did let Olaf die. I would have respected. It's like the Bing Bong thing, you know. If Bing Bong came back, it would have felt completely cheap, and that's what it does in this movie. You know what my idea was Frozen 2 was going to be? My idea for Frozen 2 was that Hans was going to lie to his kingdom about what happened, blame it all on Elsa for being a magic user, have their kingdom come nearly to war with Arendelle, and then have Elsa and Anna have to try to convince them that they're peaceful while possibly maybe having to go to war. That was my idea. But, I mean, I like the end, you know. Elsa is Queen of the Woods and Anna is Queen of Arendelle. It's a good enough ending. I think that was fine. As I said, though, I don't know where all the different things connect, you know? Anna's just like, oh, Elsa, make sure you don't leave without me. She left without me. And now my lesson is do the next right thing. I don't feel the themes. The first Frozen had completely set themes. Elsa is somebody who shut herself up for the world to an extreme, and Anna was somebody who accepted everyone into the world to an extreme, and both of the dangers of that, of isolating yourself and putting yourself too much out there. I don't get where all the different parts of this tapestry connects to each other. Really, I don't. And then Kristoff's just up there doing his own thing because, honestly, I don't think they had a part for him. This film is all about empowering girls, and Kristoff really didn't have a part in that story. But as I said, I don't hate this film. I like the spirits. I think they were really well done. I actually even I like everything about Elsa's journey. Anna's just kind of ho-humming. I'm just kind of ho-humming about. And the dam was very predictable. I also didn't feel the need to why they had to bring the ship onto the shore. That kind of felt like just like a pointless scene and didn't really hit me emotionally. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. I think that, as I said, the movie is above average. It could have been, you know, it's nowhere near as good as the first Frozen. It's probably lesser than a lot of the more recent Disney films. Like, I'd place Moana over this. I'd maybe even place Zootopia over this. I just don't, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling this movie. I don't hate it. There's nothing really to hate about it. It's just, it has something that I don't really care for, and that's yeah, that's basically all I have to say. So thanks for watching, everybody. I am Lazy Dude. Join me on another review video. Adios.
Be sure to check out some of these other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.